Once upon a time, in a magical land far, far away, right, two teenagers met and fell in love. Their names were Justin and Dana, my mom and dad. They lived in a magical place called Hamden in New York. These two people loved each other so much that they decided they wanted to take their relationship to the next level and have a baby. And we all know how babies are made, so I'm not going to draw that. Only 6 months later, I was born. A tiny little beautiful baby that weighed 2 pounds, 5 ounces. I was premature and was only about the size of your average Coke can. Really small, I know. I was flown from Walton, New York to Albany because the hospital I was born in Walton wasn't prepared to handle such a small baby. It was 2 months before I could actually go home with my parents. When I was a couple years old, every couple of months a specialist would come and do tests on me because I was growing very fast for a premature baby. Faster than a normal term baby, actually. I started talking at a very young age. Almost 1 year old, I could hold full conversations with people. But I couldn't walk until I was almost 2. I could talk, but not walk. Then, a couple years later, we moved from New York to a magical place called Indiana. My parents were so jazzed up about the move that they decided to have another baby. This slightly annoying, cute, red-headed baby, his name was Evan. He's a ginger. Then we moved back to New York once again. And my parents decided to have another baby. I guess they liked having babies after they moved. This chubby little baby's name was Nathan. Then we moved back again to Indiana. Believe me, I got sick of moving as a baby. We moved to this wonderful place in Indiana called Country Squire Lakes. It's a beautiful place. Anybody who lives in Indiana needs to check it out. We lived there for 2 years. When I was 7 years old, my parents decided that they weren't meant to be together. My parents split up and went their separate ways. I'm guessing that my dad didn't really take it all that well because he turned into a very big alcoholic. Actually, I can't really remember any memories of my childhood where my dad didn't have a beer can in his hand. My dad had a new girlfriend every couple of weeks. Some of them I liked and some of them I really hated. When my dad wasn't sleeping and me being left alone, he was busy working at a car manufacturing company called NAC. He worked third shift, so I really didn't get to see him a lot. My mom met another guy named Brian. My mom and Brian bought a house together, and we moved there with her and him. 1 year later, the 5 of us moved into what would be our final home. Over the years, I stopped being the happy, cheerful kid that I once was. Brian started yelling at me and verbally abusing me for no reason, and I didn't really like it. 2 years later, everything seemed to start to get better when my mom and Brian had a baby. His name was Landon. I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart that Landon was the only good thing that came out of their relationship for me. I love him. My mom made me sign up for baseball when I was in the 6th grade, and I actually enjoyed it a lot, and I was pretty good at it. I made a lot of friends playing baseball, and it's something I've always loved. One day, during one of my baseball games, my mom showed up with a brand new video camera. It was love at first sight when I saw this video camera. My eyes lit up, I looked at it and immediately wanted it, even though it was my mom's. I begged her and begged her to let me videotape with it that day, and I spent the rest of the day videotaping people playing baseball. When we got home, I remember I just started videotaping random stuff around the house. It was so much fun. The first video I ever made, I remember this because it's so stupid. I videotaped all the random things in our house, and just everything in our house, and started saying some of the most random stuff. Yeah, that's a chair. Then, one of my favorite things ended up being making videos with some of my friends, and our videos didn't really make sense. They were kind of random. Then we discovered this thing called a plot. It's where videos actually make sense. And most of my time was spent making videos that actually made sense with my best friend Hayden. I love making videos, and I probably always will. I found this place called Camp at MCR. It's a summer camp, and they had this thing called Music Week. I loved it. I loved playing music and singing, and it just made me so happy, despite everything that was going on at home. Then, everything suddenly plummeted. Brian started getting farther and farther away from us as a family, and when he wasn't sleeping and yelling at us for no reason, he really wasn't there. I thought I had the worst life in the world, and I wasn't a very happy kid, until I met a girl. She was beautiful, smart, funny. She made me happy. I love her with all my heart, and whenever I'm around her, I'm just a different person. Her name is Haley. We've been dating 1 year and 4 months. I know that's not a long time, but I love her, and she makes me the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Thanks, baby. My dad finally found the right woman and settled down. Her name is Karen, and they got married a little over 5 years ago. And they had a beautiful baby boy named Justin. My mom and Brian split up and went their separate ways. Brian stayed at our old house in the country, and my mom and me and my brothers drove to our new house in town. I can honestly say that I'm the happiest I've ever been, and I love my life now, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for me. I guess that's the end. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about my life. Bye.